The agenda is set. Hello, everyone. I'm Brent Goff in Berlin. The world is focused on the U.S. city of Boston. 2 bomb explosions near the finish line of the Boston Marathon. The White House saying it is treating the blast as a terror attack. Our reporters are in Boston and Washington, D.C. We will have the latest coming up on the Journal at the top of the hour. Well, today on agenda, the Iron Lady of the Western world is dead. Should we put Thatcherism to rest with her? That and more today. It is time to talk. When Margaret Thatcher spoke to Parliament like this as Prime Minister, she was changing British society, many say forever. Her economic policies unleashed rage and adoration, but are they a fix for today's problems? In Germany, a trial is set to begin soon that will force the country to once again examine how and why the ideology of the Nazis can endure. A suspected neo-Nazi, the lone survivor of a terror group, is accused in a series of murders aimed mostly at foreigners. Today we talk about what the case itself says about Germany's fight to stop the far right. And if you've never met a Jew, the Jewish Museum here in Berlin can change that, but you should know it's not over a cup of tea. A new exhibit is raising ire and eyebrows. A Jew in the box, a living Jew answering questions about Judaism. Is this simply unorthodox cultural learning? Critics call it a circus act. Well, I've invited 3 people today to talk, argue, and pry apart these headlines. My first guest is a Jew, and he has spent some time in that box at the Jewish Museum in Berlin. I'm happy to welcome to the show Bill Glucroft. He's a business consultant. Bill, you moved to Berlin 3 years ago from the U.S. You say yourself that Jews are a curiosity. You say we shouldn't try to deny that. So I'm wondering, how does putting you as a Jew in a box to answer questions from strangers, how does that change or lessen the fact that Jews are a curiosity?
Speaking, of course, only from my impressions of sitting in that box, I'd say the goal is not at first to lower the curiosity of Jews, but simply to confront the fact that people think and see Jews as a curiosity, and many Jews feel themselves as a curiosity in society.
We're going to talk about that feeling in just a moment. Glad to have you on the show. My second guest is one of Germany's leading defense attorneys in cases involving criminal law and foreigners. I'm happy to welcome to the show Mr. Klaus Reuter. He is an attorney who has represented defendants in cases involving Islamists and the Kurdish PKK group here in Germany. Mr. Reuter, it's good to have you on the show. You say that this case now is not surprising in the way things have run because you say police and security forces in Germany are not trained properly to sniff out far-right criminals. How is that possible?
Well, there's provincial communication to fight international or nationwide terrorism, and that's the reason. So there are bad communication, complicated communication, and a lack of ideas. That means in the criminal case, the police starts with a hypothesis. What could have happened, how the thing could have started, and nobody had the idea of right terrorism.
Okay, well, we're going to talk about changing that hypothesis in just a second. And my third guest is one of Europe's leading economists. He is an advisor to Germany's trade unions, and he says at its core, Thatcherism is spot on. I'm happy to welcome Professor Gustav Horn. He is also an advisor to the Social Democrat Party here in Germany. Professor Horn, it's good to see you on the show. What about Thatcherism